Good morning to all the students of class 12th political science. And students, so we were doing the chapter that is parties and party system in India, which is I'm saying the fifth chapter according to the old book which we are following. But if you see the new revised syllabus, it will be the fourth chapter. But it doesn't matter, you have to remember the name, that is we are doing parties and party system in India. But before I start the topic for the day, I would like to remind you the certain important guidelines and instructions which were given to you in relation to the COVID-19. Okay, and in the last video I had discussed it, and again I'm reading it out so that you remember it and you implement it. Okay, like you have to wear your mask properly, you have to cover your mouth and nose properly, and you have to stay away from others at least 6 feet. Okay, so this should be a distance. It means you have to maintain the social distancing or the physical distancing, and you have to wash your hand frequently whenever you are going outside or you are doing any work. Always and this you have to wash your hands with the help of soap and water, or sanitize your hands properly. And this washing of your hands should be around 30 seconds, so that there should be no germs in your hands at all. And remember not to touch your face, eyes or mouth with the dirty hands. You have to wash your hands. Then you have to have your food, and do not share your food or drinks with any of the students or any of the person nearby you. So maintain this and follow these instructions strictly, and try to promote them, and spread awareness towards your parents, your friends, neighbors, wherever you go. Okay, so today we'll start the lecture for the day. So this is the third part of this chapter, parties and party system. So let's revise what we have already covered in this area so far. So first of all, in the first part we had seen meaning of the political parties, that what do we mean by the political parties, and we had seen their functions and some of the important components of political parties. These are the topics which we had covered in the first part. Then we had covered party system in India, in which we also discussed about the role of election commission. And then we, in the last video, we in this same video we had also discussed about the national and state party. So this is an important topic where we have seen various we can say guidelines or categories, according to which we had assigned various political parties as national and or state parties. Or we can say we had seen certain important qualifications for any political party to be considered as national or state party. So we had seen certain important qualifications and conditions for that. So after that, now the topic for the day is the Congress system. If you see, this is the topic from the second chapter of your book, which has been deleted, but the topic has been merged with this chapter, that is parties and party system in India. This Congress system, we if you see your book, old book of political science, you will find the chapter that is one party dominance, which is the second chapter. So we are going to cover this topic, which is in relation to the second chapter of your book, although that chapter has been deleted, but this part has been merged with this particular topic, so we'll study it. Okay, so the Congress system, when we are reading about Congress system, it means we are going back to the time that is after independence. What kind of political system was prevalent in India after we got the freedom from the Britishers, and that all time period and time frame we are going to study under this Congress system. And the reason also we will try to find, and what were the factors that we are calling that particular time zone actually in terms of politics of India as Congress system. Why we call those time as Congress system? So let's see the period of the first three Lok Sabha, that is 1952 to 67. As you know, there are tenure or the gap of 5 years for every after every election there is a government for 5 years. So after 52, the government was formed again in 1957, then in 1962, and when the last government was elected in 1962, it means its tenure will be, that is 62 plus 5, it will go up to 67. Okay, so the period of the first three Lok Sabha election, this is a time period, is known as the Congress system. So if anyone asks you what do you mean by Congress system, you will say the first three Lok Sabha election after the independence, that is first elections we had on 1952 until 1967. This time zone is called Congress system. When Congress were ruling at the center and in most of the state, this was the time after the independence where Congress was the only party which were popular among the various people, maybe of different society, different culture, different languages. They just knew a single party, that was Congress party. So Congress had its majority at the center as well as in most of the states. Okay, so that is why for continuously for three general elections at the state level as well as at the central level, Congress was showing its dominance, we can say. Although this dominance was not we can say a dictatorship or forcefully, we can say it was a democratic, where people themselves elected the members of this party, that is Congress party. This is a chart where you will find that why we call this period as the, or these years after the independence, as the Congress system, because in first elections was held in 1952, and here the total seats at that time Lok Sabha was having 489 total number of seats, and out of this 489, Congress managed to win 364 seats, that was 45% of the vote. Although as we have already seen in the FPTP system, you have already read that why you can see this type of a difference where Congress got only 45% of the seats but managed to win at least third fourth of the total number of seats in the Lok Sabha. The same we can see in the 1957 next election. Again, the result was almost the same. 494 total seats were there, out of which 371 were won by Congress, and the total number of votes which Congress got were 47.8%. Then the next election were held in 1962. Again, there were total number of seats were the same as in the second general election. So here Congress managed to get 361 seats, and the total number of votes were 44.7. And this is the difference which you have already read in class 11th in the topic first past the post system. Okay, and the second party which we could see, there was no competition with Congress at all, as they got the majority, which is very difficult to get that majority. But anyhow, there was the second opposition party, that was CPI, okay, Communist Party of India. This was at the second number. It only managed to get 16 seats, 27 seats and 29 seats out of this total number of seats. So you can see the difference. So we can say this was a complete domination and influence of Congress party after the independence continuously for the three Lok Sabha terms. Okay, so we can understand this by, so that is why we call it the Congress system. It means from 1952 till 1967, this was the time period. Here we had election till 1967. When a government will be elected, it will be elected for 5 years. So from 52 to 67, it was a complete dominance and influence of Congress party in the Indian politics. So that is why we call this period as the Congress system. I hope you would have understood this thing. So whatever I've explained here, I've written in points also. The result on the first election did not surprise anyone. No one was surprised to see this result, as Congress won 364 seats out of 489 seats, which I have shown you here also. Okay, it did not surprise anyone. Congress won these many seats in Lok Sabha. Why no one was surprised? Because this was the only party which had influence all over the country, and we shall see the factors why a Congress party has so much of influence and dominance in the Indian politics during this period. So we'll do it in the further topic. So Congress attained and held the legacy of the national movement. One reason I have written here why Congress had so much of influence and why there was an outcome of the general election, why this result was possible, because Congress attained and held the legacy of national movement. As we know, before the independence, the party which was active in India, on which people had lot of faith and trust, and they expressed their desires, it was only Congress party and Congress leaders who were leading Indian freedom struggle from the front. So its legacy of national movement played a very important role, so that is why they had this important impact on Indian politics after the independence. And of course, this leader, charismatic leader of Congress party, Jawaharlal Nehru, he was very well known, very popular, very knowledgeable, where people had lot of faith and trust on this particular political leader who was leading this political party, that is Congress party. So these are also some of the two important, we can say, reasons or factors because of which Congress maintained its dominance or power for the around this from 1952 to till 1967. Here, the state elections were held with Lok Sabha election. Congress won the. So now, if we talk about the same, like it were these are the election date of elections where the elections were held. General elections were held for Lok Sabha, but in the same date, the elections for state assembly were also held the same date. So that's why it's written here. The state elections were held with Lok Sabha election. State elections were also held along with Lok Sabha election on the same year. Congress won in the states as well. So Congress managed to win all the seats in all the states almost. Was able to get the majority. It won a majority of seats in all the states. So it managed to win the majority of seats in all the states, except, you have to remember, except Travancore, Cochin, that is the part of Kerala today. So if you go to the Kerala, you'll find this region here, and Madras and Odisha. So we can say Kerala, Madras, Odisha. These three were the areas where Congress could not get the majority in the election of 1957. So you have to remember. State elections were held in 1957, and all over the India, Congress managed to win the majority of seats except in the state of Kerala, Madras, and Odisha. But after that, finally, even these states were Congress formed the government. But after some time, Congress again formed the government in these regions also of Kerala, Madras, and Odisha. So not only at the centers, Congress had lot of influence at the state level, at the local level, everywhere. This also I have already discussed. In the second and the third general elections held in 1957, these were the year second elections were held and third were held in 1962 respectively. Congress managed to get the same position. So our results are almost the same. I have shown you in the that data, the box which I have made for you. You can see it from there. Lok Sabha by winning 3/4 seats. So Lok Sabha in all three general elections easily managed to get the majority of 3/4 seats in the Lok Sabha. Okay. Now the new topic which you can see is Congress dominance in the first three general elections. So you see why there was a lot of dominance, control, and power of only Congress in the first three general elections, and these general elections started from 1952 to 1960. What we can write here 62 also, because this term went till 1967. So I was thinking, should I tell 67 or 62? So you know there is a term for 5 years from 52. What will be the time period? 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. After these elections will be held in 57, and after 57 again you will add 5, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So elections are held in 52, then in 57, then in 62, and after 62 what will come? 67. So this was the time of Lok Sabha elections as well as state elections where Congress showed its dominance. Let's see that. In the state assembly election, Congress did not get a majority in few states. But as we have all discussed already, in the state assembly there were some regions where Congress did not get the majority. So let's see it. As we have seen in Kerala, as I told you. In Kerala, the Communist Party won 60 out of 126. So in Kerala, the total number of seats at the state assembly were 126, and the Communist Party of India (CPI) were managed to get 60 seats in 1957. In 1957, they managed to get 60 votes out of 126 seats, and had the support of the independents. So they had also the support of the independent candidates. So EMS Nabod Daripad formed the ministry. So he became the chief minister, and he was from the Communist Party in 1957, as they got the majority of 60 seats out of 126. This was the first democratically elected communist government anywhere in the world. If you talk about the Communist Party, then as we have seen in the case of China, and we have also seen about USSR, Russia, where we saw that there was only one party, that was Communist Party. So those Communist Party had lot of influence and power and there the people did not had the chance to represent or show their opinion in formation of the government or in the functioning of the government. But it was in for the very first time in India, and it had never happened in the world before that any communist government was elected democratically. Democratically means here with the voting of the people, with the people's choice. Okay, here people wanted that there should be a communist party or CPI in their state, that is Kerala. So this happened in Kerala. But let's see what happened after that. Once this government in at Kerala was elected in 1957, but after 2 years, that is in 1959, Congress government was in the center, and that government dismissed the communist government of Kerala before ending its tenure. Within 2 years, the Congress party, which was at the center, that has dismissed the communist government of Kerala by using Article 356. This was the article which was used to dissolve the government or the state government of Kerala. And according to Article 356, it is the state emergency was imposed in Kerala, where there was a president rule then in 350 sorry in Kerala in 1959. This decision became controversial and is said to be the first misuse of this constitutional provision. And this decision was very controversial, where people thought that Congress wanted to show its dominance and wanted to remove CPI from Kerala. That is why they had imposed this Article 356 in the state of Kerala. Which we can say there was a failure, and the reason given behind this by the Congress government was that there were some education policies and acts taken out by the Kerala for their own state, and there was lot of protest and demonstrations against and support of this act, because of which there was lot of unjust and we can say a loss of law and order in the state of Kerala. And the president or the governors, according to the president and the governors record or complaint, we can say the government in Kerala was dissolved. So these are the three type of articles we can see. Articles of imposing emergency. What are the articles through which we can impose emergency? First is Article 352. You know that, national emergency. Article 356, state emergency, and Article 360 is the financial emergency. So according to this emergency was imposed in Kerala, that was 356, that is state emergency. And this emergency was imposed because there they complained that there was a failure of constitutional machinery in the state. They were not functioning properly according to the provisions of the constitution. So next topic is nature of Congress dominance. Let's see the what type of nature Congress dominance had. So the first point is the dominance of one Congress is different from the party dominance everywhere in the world. If you will see the type of dominance Congress had, it is very different if you compare it with the other examples or the other countries around the world. Why? So for example, we can understand in some countries like China, Cuba, Syria, constitution permits only one party to rule the country. Here in countries like China, Cuba, Syria, here their constitution permits only one. There is only permission to one party system. This country is having only one party system, and they are mostly, we can say, military rule, or we can say the power of the dictatorship, which do not allow any opposition party to stand in front of the main parties, which is only a single party. But in India, this was not the situation. This was a country where everyone has the freedom to form their political parties of different ideologies, different backgrounds. There is lot of diversity, so there were different political parties, all had the opportunity, but still there was a dominance of Congress. It means there is a difference if we talk about the dominance as compared to other part of the countries. If I say there is a domination of China, Cuba, or Russia, and Communist Party are ruling there, but the situation and conditions are different here. It is there is lot of dictatorship or the military rule in these countries, which do not allow any other political parties to stand and take part in the functioning of their country. But India, this was not the case. Everyone had the freedom to represent themselves. Some other examples are, some are like Myanmar, Belarus, Egypt, Eritrea are effectively one party state due to legal and military reasons. These are compulsory, mandatory. They have one party state, one party system, and legally or military reasons, or there can be many legal and military reasons because of which there are only one party system. That is why there is a dominance of only one party. But why this was happening with India, this there was no military reason, there was no legal right, there was no constitutional provision which could say that there could be only one party, but still Congress maintained its dominance. So let's see the other example. The very close to this is the Mexico PRI party. This is a party, Institutional Revolutionary Party. This party dominated for almost 6 decades. Decades means 10 years. 6 decades means 60 years. For around 60 years, this was the party who dominated the politics of Mexico. But during this period, most of the times, undemocratic means were used by the PRI. PRI was trying to show that they are having contesting elections, they are having democracy where people are coming and voting. But these elections and voting were not up to the mark, as they did not had elections which were free and fair. They used all the malpractices to win the elections and be in power. This PRI. Okay, so we cannot say that it was democratically elected government in Mexico. They just for the time or just to show off they had the elections and the democratic methods, but it was all lot of corruption going on, and anyhow they had to bring this PRI into power every time after winning the elections. Although because those elections were not free and fair like we have in India, we have very fair and freer and free elections. Okay, now moving forward, in contrast to all the above countries, if we compare these examples like Mexico, of Myanmar, Belarus, Egypt, or countries like China, Cuba, Syria, if we compare the situation and circumstances of these countries with India, see, in contrast to all the above countries, Congress exercised the dominance totally under democratic conditions. Congress was able to maintain its dominance and power. Although there was a democratic conditions in India, there were proper elections, free and fair elections. People had their own choice to elect their candidates, their parties. But people themselves wanted Congress party to be in the power and to be dominant and to look after the developmental activities of our society. So it is a very different type of dominance if we see and compare it with the other part of the world, where there was military rule, there were some legal rights, or there were dictatorships. So there is a totally difference if we talk about Congress dominance. I hope you must have understood it. And the reason behind this, I have already told you, there was a legacy of where the Congress party is the oldest party which had taken part in the freedom struggle. Most of the most important leaders after the independence all belong to this Congress party. Okay. So we have already discussed, but again in a point wise I have written where you can write the answer also. Causes of, or we can say factors of Congress dominance. What were the important causes and factors which led to the dominance of Congress for this for the first three, we can say, general elections at state and at state and central level. The first is inheritance of the national movement. As we know, because of the national movement, this was the most important political party which had taken part. Roots of extraordinary success goes back to legacy of freedom struggle. This I have explained to you. Social coalition of all classes. If we talk about Congress, this political party is not only about one particular class, one caste, or one religion. It included all the people. It had lot of diversity. If we talk about the caste, color, language, people, social groups, so it included everyone. That is why we call it social coalition, where different people of different classes, different caste, different religion groups, all were given representation under this political party, that is Congress party, and all had the proper opportunities to show their representation. Coalition of different ideologies, as in the last videos we had done about national party and state parties. In that, I when we were discussing about national parties, 8 important national parties, and most of these parties other than Congress have come out and have split out from the Congress party. It means their parental party was Congress somehow. So Congress included the people and the groups of all the ideologies, whether you talk of socialism, you talk of communalism, you talk of capitalism. So every type of ideology which we think should be there in India, so that all was already in the Congress. So we can say coalition of different ideologies. This is very important for you to understand, I think. Okay. First past the post system. This is the system which we follow in India for the Lok Sabha election also, and for the state assembly elections also, or we call it Vidhan Sabha election. In this we follow which system? FPTP, that is first past the post system. Okay. So what do we do in this first past the post system? It's a good, very important topic, but in short we can say, in this a party has to get maximum number of votes. Whichever party gets the maximum number of votes, that party is being elected. It wins the election, or it is being elected. So there is a difference between the term maximum and majority, and you need to remember it, and you need to understand it very clearly. Maximum, if I tell you who got the maximum marks in your class, so you will say someone got 45, someone got 81, someone got 94. Okay, so someone got 25. So what will be the maximum marks? Who is having the highest? 94, you will say. Okay, this is maximum. But when we talk about majority, if I say you got 24, you got 56, sorry, this is like 20, 14, and this is 19. So if I say who got the majority here, you out of, these are marks out of 50, I can say. Okay, out of 50, these are the marks. So if I say who has got the majority of marks, so no one has got the majority. Majority means 50 plus. If anyone getting 50 plus 50%, what will be the 50% of 50? That is 25. Have anyone got 25 marks? No, no one has got 25 marks. It means no one has got the majority. You have to remember, majority means 50% plus or more than 50%. So same which we follow the system under FPTP. Suppose we have a constituency. This is a constituency, and in this 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so ये इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के टोटल वोट्स हैं, that is 1 2 3 4 5 10 votes. So when the elections are held, suppose one party gets 3 votes out of this, another party gets 2, again one another party gets 2, again 2, and the last party gets 1 vote. So 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, it is 10. So you can see who will be the, according to FPTP system, as I told you, whichever party or whichever person gets the maximum number of votes is being elected. So who has got the maximum? Maximum means इनमें से सबसे ज़्यादा किसके हैं? First you can see this. Okay, and if I talk about majority, does anyone has got the majority out of 10? Anyone has got 5? No, no one has got 5. So this is the only reason there that we call this FPTP system as artificially boosted victory of Congress party. This is artificially boosted, where we think that Congress had lot of dominance, lot of people voted for Congress, but this was not truth, we can say, and we have read it in class 11th. These are the different parties, because here Congress, if we, this is a case of Congress, it means out of this 10, it has got only 30% vote, and it is being elected after getting 30% vote. And if we see 1 2 3 4, these 4 parties have got total number of 70% votes. It means these 70% votes did not wanted Congress to be at the center. They have elected some other candidates, but because of the FPTP system, this 30% of votes are with Congress. So if the same situations happens with every constituency, so in this way we will see that there will be less number of total number of votes will be there for Congress, and they will be able to achieve the 3/4 or the more number of seats in the Lok Sabha. So this was one of the reason that this showed the dominance of Congress, because this system, you can understand, you have already studied in class 11th also. Management of conflicts and factions, there was a lot of conflicts, although we can say there was no opposition party during the period after independence for Congress, but still there were some of the, we can say, criticism or different opinion within the party, where people did not like the plans and policies of Nehru or the influential leaders of Congress party, but still they had such management that they used to solve out, make debates, and make some solutions for their conflicts within their party. Proper organization and popularity. Since in India there was still three general elections were over, but still there was no opposition party. They were still trying to form their parties against Congress. But this Congress party, before the independence, they had already organized their sector, their committees at the state level, at the central level, at the local level. So because of this proper organization, proper structure of the Congress, and because of the popularity, because it was this Congress party was very well known among the common people. So because of its popularity and popular organization, we can say it had lot of dominance as a party after independence. So these are some of the important factors which shows that why Congress had this dominance for 1952 to 67 time period for the first three Lok Sabha elections. I hope you must have understood it, and in the next video we will move forward with the topic. Till then, thank you.